Hey Alphas, it's Angelo with EarlyAccessMedia.com and Early Access Podcast, and I have another first look for you. However, this one is not exactly a first look. So the game is called Empyrion Galactic Survival. It came out August 5th. It is already very positive, so it's only been out for 3 days now. It's got 296 reviews, 87% positive. As you can see, I already put in over 5 hours, a little over 5 hours into this game, and that's why it's not exactly a first look. And the reason it's not a first look is because it's an open world survival space simulator game. I decided to do that because, I usually don't review these games because they're really hard to review in a first look kind of form. I feel like you don't get enough in the first, 30 to say 90 minutes that I usually do these. So this is going to be a much shorter video because I know what I'm going to be talking about, and it's not going to be so much like first looky. However, I just want to first point out that I've played enough of this game, and I totally recommend checking it out. However, the game is very ambitious. If you've been following the game No Man's Sky, it's much like that, except if you take all the, the building elements of other survival, open world survival games like sandbox games. So think of it like that, where you're going to be on a planet, and at some point in the future, you're going to be able to build a ship, leave that planet, go to another planet, and so on and so forth, much like No Man's Sky. Currently, it's $16.19. It's $18 regularly, so it's 10% off. Right now, there is a section of one planet that you can play on. I'm pretty sure I'm not sure 100%, but I don't think you can leave the planet right now. Again, that is their goal. Their goal is to allow you to get to that point. But right now you can. So we're gonna jump in, and I'm gonna walk you through more of a tutorial style of this game than what we're used to with my first looks, because like I said, I usually do just first looks, but this is a little bit different. So as you can see, it's pre-alpha, and then we're just gonna resume right where I had left off with my last game. So we're gonna resume, and actually I was playing today. I just actually played it. All 5 hours was today. So the graphics could be a little bit better. The character models could be a little bit better. But other than that, I think overall the game looks pretty good. So we're gonna step outside real quick. All right. So it's nighttime. So this is a little base I've built so far. But I'm gonna run to where you would start. So when you start a new game, you start in this little escape pod here. And now, one of the biggest problems I had with this game from the get-go was the fact that there's very little explanation. The game does a good job at trying to tell you what to do, but I still had to go and look on the forums for tutorials and guides from other people. I recommend doing that. I just want to, right from the top, I recommend this game if you want to support this kind of game. If you don't, then don't. But so we're just gonna do a little tutorial. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna drop into the game. You're gonna show up in this little ship here. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna open your inventory. You'll have a couple things. You'll have a pistol. You'll have this drill, which is what allows you to harvest. That's not the drill. Which allows you to mine materials. You see where I dug a little hole there? As you can see on the map, iron deposits are 300 meters away, copper 385, got magnesium over here at 374. So I will show you that in a second. But what you're going to do is you're going to want to survive. So if you look in the bottom left hand corner, you got your health, you got food, you got oxygen, you got stamina. The stamina just lets you know how far you can run before you run out of stamina, and then you got to relax and try to go regenerate it, right? So this little ship is the pod that you crash landed on this planet with. this is how they're gonna start you off in the game. So you're gonna go into these containers, and there's gonna be resources in these 2 containers and these 2 containers. So the first thing you're gonna do is one of these containers is gonna I don't have any on here, I will show you in a minute, is going to have energy fuel cells. So what you're going to do is you're going to open this up, you're going to place the fuel cells into this fuel tank. Then that allows you to power up and use this constructor. The constructor is what allows you to make items. So as you can see here, you got, you know, all your items. You got ingots, you got, you know, here's the fuel pack. That's what it'll look like, a little fuel pack. You know, you got metal components, cables. So this is where you're going to build your initial stuff. You got 4 different tabs here. You got weapons, and you know, these are charges for the tools. You got bullets, you got shotgun shells. This is your building materials, and this is the items that allow you to power your first base. So ideally, the first thing you want to do is build this base starter here. So you're gonna, you have enough materials in the ship already, in the crates, that you can come over here, fill this with fuel cells, get up here into the constructor and start making the stuff to make your base starter. You're gonna want to make I think you start with an oxygen generator, and you're gonna want to make a small generator, a small fuel tank. Now, I want to point out that I messed up on the first time I tried to play it because I didn't understand what these letters look like. Now, if you look on the pop-up for the item, at the bottom it says placeable. It says CV, comma, BA. CV means, I want to say, oh no, it's GV, sorry. That's a G, it looks like a C. GV means ground vehicle, BA means base. And then if you look at this generator, it means ground vehicle and space vehicle. So what happened was I thought, oh, I'll just generate the higher, like the better version. No, there is a base version and a vehicle version, because ideally, eventually you're going to be able to make a spaceship that's going to need its own generators, and that's what those are for. So you can't fly into space with the base generators. So that kind of messed me up. So once you do that, you're gonna start. You're gonna put your fuel cells in here, construct your base element, and then that should take you a little bit of time just to figure out the UI, because everything has multiple components. You know, for instance, to make the base starter is the first thing you're gonna make, but to make the small generator, you need this list of items, and each of those items is here, and you need a list of items to make those. But like I said, you should have enough. If not, this iron deposit directly across, like from your starting area, has a bunch of iron, which is enough to get you started. And then if you run out of copper, there's copper up there. Now we're gonna run back to my base that I started with, and I'll show you what you're gonna end up getting into. So I just started messing around with this. So this is the base. Quick note, if you hit J, it turns on a jetpack. If you hit J again, it turns it off. When you have the jetpack activated, you cannot shift run. So just so you know, can't do that. So now, these are all these blocks here. These are basic hull blocks. Now, real quick, an interesting thing that they did. So I put this in right before the video just to have an idea of what it looked like. I was starting to make a ground vehicle. Oh, and it reminds me, to turn on the to use the constructor on the escape pod, you actually have to go up to the cockpit, hit the T key to enter, and then hit Y to turn it on. Once there's fuel cells in the fuel, the fuel charges in the in that bay, you have to get into the ship to hit Y to power it up. Everything will light up, and then the constructor will start working. You'll see like lights going on the side. I forgot to mention that, but I wanted to point out one of the cool things is, so you have these hull blocks, right? So that's what allows you to build onto your base here. But what's cool is they resize for vehicles. So as you can see, I still have the same hull block selected, and this is the hull of the ship. So I can place one of those there, but then if I try to place it on my base, it actually makes it looks like about 8 times the size, and and then you can put it onto your base. So it scales based on what you're building, which I think is kind of neat. You don't have to build multiple types of things. So yeah, like I said, this is the base. So we're gonna walk inside here. Now this is working because it is powered by the small generator here. So I built all the basic things. I wanted to make sure I had all the basic stuff done before I did the first look. So basically, once you start, this is your core. So when you build that first, let me get the name for it real quick so I don't give you misinformation. So when you build this, your base starter, it has your core. The core is basically what powers your whole, well, what allows you to start building onto it. So it's a 4x4 or 3x3x3 cube, and that's what you start building onto. And then if you hit the P button, this gives you all your core properties. This lets you know, like, all right, all your stuff is on. From here you can change the color of your lights. You can make them. So you got, see, I have a couple lights up here, so you can change the color of your lights from that menu. But you can also manage your power usage here by turning things on and off. So once you place the generator, it does nothing. You have to place so in the fuel tank, you place fuel packs that you create into here, and that's what generates, allows the generator to work. So it generates all the electricity in your entire pod, your entire base. The next thing is your oxygen. So here you place oxygen bottles, which I have more of somewhere. There we go, oxygen bottles, and here are the fuel packs. So once, this is all for base stuff anyway. So you have your oxygen station and your oxygen tank. The oxygen tank, you place your oxygen bottles in, and what that does is allows you to walk up to your oxygen station, and when you do, you will refill your oxygen. If you notice down the bottom left hand corner, mine has filled up. So then there is the constructor. Now once you place the large constructor in your base, it gives you options to more stuff that you would get out of the one in the crashed pod, more weapons, more constructing, construction tool stuff like materials, and then you also have more regular materials and more advanced items that you can build, cockpits and thrusters and everything to build ships, because you can build a spaceship and you can build a ground vehicle, which I haven't gotten to. I started the ground vehicle, but I haven't finished it yet. You also have the access to a food processor, so you can make food. Same thing. It's just following the templates. It's just like most survival games. You follow templates. I got this is a refrigerator, so all the food has a perish time. If you put it in the refrigerator, I think it either stops it or slows it down, which is pretty cool. And then you also start with some items that you can grow. So you build these little soil containers. You put the grow lights over top to help them grow, and then you plant seeds. Actually, I think I have a container right here. So you get some of these seeds, and you can also get them from the food processor, or I'll show you in a minute about harvesting stuff. But you can get them from outside and the food processor. There's also this, which is the water generator. So the same thing, everything requires energy or fuel. So you put Sorry, my cat knocked something over. So you put the fuel packs in here, and then it'll update. And so in 111, 110 seconds, I will get another purified water. Right now, you don't drink the purified water. You use it in different processes. So you can use it here to make nutrient solvent, to make new growing plots, and some of these I think require it. Yeah, some of the sprouts require it. You use purified water for a lot of the, for med kits and stuff like that. These are just containers, blah blah blah. This is just outside. So I mean, it's a pretty fairly simple building mechanic. I mean, we've all played these kinds of games with the building. What I think is, though, if this game lives up to the promise of being able to leave the world, it's going to be really cool. So this is the other thing. You start with this oxygen generator. Now, there is no oxygen in the air, so you must place this in the water to generate oxygen. So as you can see here, I just pulled oxygen bottles out of the output. Just like everything else, you place this in the water, you put fuel cells in it, it'll generate oxygen bottles, and then you can either go, if you haven't built a base yet, you can go back to your pod, place them in the oxygen tanks on the side of the ship, and then walk up to a little cubby hole, and it'll regenerate similarly to how this oxygen station and this oxygen tank work. They have a smaller version on the pod. Let me put the excess in here. So that's generally how the base building works. You want to make sure, again, when you're building your base that the stuff that you are building is for what you want it for. So look at the placeable, and CV means, GV means ground vehicle, BA means base, and then T means terrain, and then let's see, SV means space vehicle. Just remember that some of them are only for the vehicles, and some of them are only for bases, and then some of them are for terrain, which the only things that are really for terrain are the water purifier, and the oxygen purifier so far, at least that I've noticed. So let's find the closest ore. And we're just going to take a walk here. So you start with this pistol. And you can gather most stuff. If you look at top right hand corner, as you walk up the stuff, it'll let you pick. You hit by hitting the T key. So, you want to make sure you're picking stuff as you go, because it's going to be useful later on. Just be careful. Some of it doesn't stack yet, which is kind of irritating. Yeah, I wish some of it did, but it does not, unfortunately. Everything's not pickable, but we're gonna. I think I got all of this iron already, but I will still be. I think there's still rock over there. Actually, what are you? Egg? Give me the egg. I think there's still stuff in there that I can mine. I want to find some creatures to kill for you. So there is creatures. There's several different creatures. There's these giant rock titans. There is, I saw scorpions. There's this weird worm thingy. There's some, they're listed as dinosaurs, but I don't know why the fuck there'd be dinosaurs. Where you at? There you are. So you got this guy. This guy's a dinosaur. So he's kind of funny looking. So I dispatched of him pretty quickly. He looks pretty cool. So you can get meat from these guys. If you use the food processor, you can cook the meat, and then you got to do it within a certain amount of time though, because it'll spoil. Blah blah blah. You don't want to do that. You don't want your food to spoil. But although some of the stuff does need spoiled food to make, for instance, like the fertilizer, it needs spoiled food. So I need this alien plasma ZR1 because you use it to make, I think, med packs. Screw you, buddy. Yeah, I shot you in the dome. Why are you running? Don't run. So this is where all that iron was. I mined out all this iron already, as you can see. But that's all stone though. So I'm still going to show you how that works. So you have this drill. This is what you start with. You start with this drill. And I think you start with the filler tool as well, which I'll go over in a second. So basically all it is left mouse button. Yeah, it does exactly what you expect it to do, and then your ore or whatever will fall. You hit T to pick it up. It's pretty simple. So yeah, I mean that's how you're gonna clean it up, and then you're gonna use your constructor to make iron ingots or, you know, other components out of it, what have you. So then I also have this tool, which is the filler flattener tool. So the flattener will do exactly as it sounds. I heard something. So it'll flatten land so you can build on it. You hold the out. Oh no, left mouse button will fill it out, or the right mouse button will flatten it out. See? So you see the way it's all flat now. So that's what that tool does. And then you also have this tool, which is the remove repair tool, but you get that a little bit later. Oh, cool! I can show you a Titan. Show off the jetpack. Yo, what's up, bro? Oh, it's a desert golem. I would like the attacks to be a little bit more like I feel like I'm actually doing something. And plus, he moves really slow. I got him. I have no idea how much damage he does. He drops some promethium ore, which is used to make more fuel packs. You know, crushed rock. This has a flashlight on it. Should have grabbed the flashlight. But yeah, I mean, it's like most of these games. You're gonna run around. You're gonna, you know, craft some shit. You're gonna build bases. You know, how cool do you want your base to be? It's really up to you. But I was gonna show you something else, and now I can't remember. Killed that guy. Oh, the meat, maybe food. No, that wasn't it. I don't remember now. Oh yeah, the repair remove tool. So one of the first things I recommend though is once you get a weapon, go over to this crashed spaceship. There's a couple of chests in there that give you some items, and also if you head from here, this like first lake, if you hit the map button, here's your pod. If you head east all the way over here in this area somewhere, there's a big alien tower that also has a bunch of cool stuff that you can loot. So got them cheats for you. So like I said, so this is the other I guess like repair tool that you can use. I mean, it's like another building tool that you can use. So if you use this, it allows you to remove your items so they'll start to dent. Now, I'm not going to take it down because it's a pain in the ass. If you hit it enough times, it'll dent, and then destroy. Or you can hit that's with the left mouse button. The left mouse button will remove them like that. Or you can hit the right mouse button and it'll start to repair them like that. So, see, ding, ding, doop, 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 and all better. So yeah, I mean, it's a open world sandbox game. I think the promise is there. It's already got a lot of features in it. You know, even though it's constrained right now from what I can tell. It doesn't look like God, I wish this stack too. It reminds me of Don't Starve, where like nothing wants to stack. You know, there's enough to do here. Like I said, I put 5 hours in and I got to this point, but I mean, I still have to try to build a ground vehicle. I haven't tried to build a space vehicle yet. I mean, there's plenty to do for your you know, $20 investment or $18 investment. The game looks fun, and you know, it's just they're doing it right. And if they get the interplanetary stuff going, you know, I could see this becoming a really awesome sandbox game. Right now, it is single player only, except for the fact that let's see. I showed you most of the stuff. I'll back out real quick here. You can peer other people, so if you want to peer-to-peer with people, you can. But I will recommend, if you watch my video and you don't have a great idea, there are some more condensed videos, guides, and tutorials that they have on their Steam page, so go check them out. But this is Empyrion Galactic Survival. You can find it on Steam. The link will be in the show notes, guys. But that's going to do it for this first look. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and until next time, guys, I'll see you for the next review.